Okay, here we have some mashed fish. We are doing a combination. This is our stock. You can see the stock is, this is the meat stock, so I'm putting in some of the meat inside. Now we don't want to put too much water inside here so that the paste will not be too watery. These are chopped meat, and yeah, the stock, some part of the stock poured inside there, and then as you can see, we can just stir a little bit. Be very careful when stirring something hot. Stir a little bit to push in the flavors inside the mixture. I know most of you might be wondering, why am I using a combination of plantain and what I'm using, plantain and corn. I tell you, I like to experiment. It might not be feasibly okay with you in the home economic side, but with food I like to experiment, and I'm thinking this experiment is going to be very lovely. So what I'll do now is I'll test the mixture. Yeah, that is perfectly okay. So I put a little more of the stock. The stock is so rich it can even be converted into soup and used as an appetizer. Take a second test. Well, this time I put in some salt, so I'm trying to be very careful in the salt department here. So I'm putting up the quantity I feel will be very good for what we are cooking. So I am stirring it, not stirring it too hard so that I don't mash up all the fish and all the meat. If you're using meat to do this, cook the meat and let it be very soft so that inside this is a very rich combination, I must tell you. And you'll be asking, how am I going to get the mixture of what I want? Now I'll show you an example. This is an example of how you do the waterproof we're using. Open it up, scoop a good quantity. Be very careful, don't let the whole thing just spray everywhere. Just be careful and make sure your hands are clean. If you touch anything, wash your hands first. Okay, we're scooping the quantity. Okay, when we finish, depending on the shape you want it to appear, this is what we have. This is a heart shape, so we can do it this way. Give it a little allowance for air. You give a little allowance for air. Squeeze out the air inside. This is very important. If you see, there's air bubbles inside here, so we are going to squeeze out the air and make it a little bit airtight, and we twist and turn, and that's it. So we are going to have something like this inside the pot to cook. Now, for some of us who still have the moi moi plate, this makes life very easy for you. Washed up moi moi plate, take a little, squeeze in carefully, put in another quantity, and make sure at this level you don't overdo it, so that you allow room for it to rise. Then cover up, stack the quantity in, and just when you're putting it inside the pot, you stack it. This is the perfect way of cooking moi moi. Now we will do it very fast and show you how to start cooking in the cooking process. In the cooking process, what we're going to do is we're going to put the pot we want to use now into the fire, put in some water and